Your lies burn like sugar in my wounds. That is some drama, and that is one of the opening lines of Victoria's Tears Are Getting Sober, the song for Bulgaria at Eurovision 2020. She is an up and coming artist, and boy, she sure is coming onto our radar. She was a favorite to win Eurovision 2020. She won't be competing this year, but she's been confirmed for next year. So I think before that moment arrives, we should discuss her song. Are you ready?
Let's do this!
Tears are getting sober. I got some space to grow. Your lies burn like sugar in my bones. So I have sweet bruises.
Yes, we are still living in Eurovision 2020, and the song is Tears Are Getting Sober. You guys, what I love about this song is it sounds like such a sweet lullaby, but underneath it is very, very dark. She talks about wounds becoming scars. She talks about sugar in her wounds. There's a lot going on here thematically. This is a song about overcoming mental health issues, and it has a hopeful message that you can indeed overcome. Ed, what do you think of the song?
I absolutely love it. I first listened to it. I'd just woken up on a Saturday morning. I was lying in my bed. I thought I didn't have the music video, so I was like, let's get the ultimate viewing area. I went under my duvet, closed my eyes, and listened to it. And I burst into tears when I was listening to it. Honestly, it really, really touched me. I think as Boris Milanov said, this is a song about young people nowadays really struggling with mental health. And it's so important to talk about this. I think it's a topic that's never been more relevant. And it's a topic that's close to a lot of people I know. And I think everyone can relate to it, whether it's personally or someone close to them. And all these emotions come together. And I just could not keep it together. I was crying hysterically. I listened to it 3 times in a row and kept crying. Like, the verses are so delicate and so touching, and the chorus is so sad but also so uplifting at the same time. For me, it's just pure magic, and I think Victoria is so relatable and makes that connection. And that's in a way that, for me, Romania's Alcohol You, which is a similar kind of theme, doesn't connect, but here it really tugs on my heartstrings. And I think staging for this could have been very simple, but no matter what they've done, it would have been super effective. And I think this is a masterpiece. I think it kind of it's built on the kind of Salvador Sobral beautiful orchestral production kind of vibes, but with a more modern lyrical theme. I think it's pure magic.
Dubbanadorumi, Wiwibloggs.com.
Do you know, William, the first time I actually heard the song was via Sinan Sadula's reactions.
Your lies burn like sugar in my bones.
So it was playing in the background, and I was observing our Bulgarian correspondent literally just breaking down in tears. The second time I heard it, again, that was with you. Do you remember?
Water of life.
Oh,
Beauty.
Like sugar in
Look.
It's quite. It's just Quiet Storm, isn't it?
Instantly gripping.
and I was like, wow, this is like really gripping. Even though I kind of had half heard it before, I agree with Ed. There's so many layers to this. And, you know, as the complexities unfold, you know, there's a time when she says, you know, this is my first time trying, look how the tables turn. I've got this dirt inside me. I've got space to grow. I mean, like, there's a richness to this. There's a beautiful texture to this. And even though the lyrics are very dark, as you mentioned earlier, it is underscored by this beautiful, rich orchestration, very fairy tale. But what I love the most is the backstory. I was speaking to Borislav Milanov last night, and, you know, you just gain a wider insight into. So basically, Bulgaria had zero plans of Eurovision. They were concentrating on more sport and cultural events. And this artist was a reason to participate because they believed that much in her. And given their minimal budget constraints, you know, they were budget conscious from the very beginning. Yes, fine, no money was they didn't hold back on production. But things like the video, for instance, that was just shot on a phone, one take. Like, they weren't doing anything crazy because Victoria's simplicity is actually what sells this. Again, you know, I talked to him about the whole Billie Eilish comparison. Actually, interestingly, she's actually flattered by that, William. She's, you know, because she's like, Billie Eilish is her favorite star in the world. And what a wonderful way to pay tribute to that. I do actually think it sounds similar because Billie Eilish is a little too dark for me. And this has a much more ethereal light. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Suzanne.
So I listened to all of the songs consecutively so that I could get them all done, though I had heard some of them before. And this was the first one that popped up on my screen as I was just, you know, scrolling through the YouTube site, letting them play as they chose to. And when it opened up, you saw the universe. And then you heard, or I saw the universe. And then I heard this beautiful melody and then saw this beautiful young girl who just looked so vulnerable. And then you see this beautiful, vulnerable young girl sitting in a forest. And so in that moment, I was reminded that we are all just one small part of the universe. And essentially, we are all one. And the forest is like bringing us all back to our roots. It's very grounding, getting back to nature. And while this song is about mental health, as you listen to the lyrics, you could really apply it to different scenarios in one's own life. Lies felt like sugar in my wounds. That reminds me of dealing with a narcissist. And it was absolutely beautiful. Tears getting sober, because a lot of times it's the toxic people in our lives that we're addicted to. I loved in the end how you saw the lightning bugs, and lightning bugs come as spring emerges. And so with those, I saw hope. But here's this beautiful, young, vulnerable girl who references having been taken advantage of. And she talks about her wound being a scar, and then it appears on her cheek, which is, you know, kind of near the throat, and we speak from our mouths. And I felt like this experience in her life was really keeping her from being able to speak her truth. We end in the universe and the stars and the sky, and with the lightning bugs there, I just really felt like there was hope in the end. And I just felt like it's a song that kind of unites everyone, because regardless of what it is we're going through, we've all been there.
She speaks from the heart, girl. It was like you were telling me your autobiography just now. I could feel it. That's why I was giggling, because I've heard that story so many times to so many songs.
Really?
In any case, what I love is her voice. She's very interesting. All these Billie Eilish comparisons, it doesn't really interest me, because she is not the next Billie Eilish. She is the first Victoria Georgieva, okay? Billie Eilish did not invent dark art pop. It's been around for a while, and yeah, she's taking it in a new direction, actually, with the Lush video. This was like a little movie, and it gives me hope, or rather it upsets me, because they clearly would have done something enormous on the stage, and they had a big concept, and it would have been stunning. I do think this could have contended for the win at Eurovision 2020. You know, and Borislav Milanov, in our interview on Wiwibloggs, he said they went through 25 different drafts of this song, 25, and he had never done that before. They really poured so much into this. In any case, why don't we go around and give our scores out of 10, along with a prediction of how this would have done at Eurovision, starting with Ed.
So for me, this is my joint winner with Russia, and I give it a 9.5. I honestly absolutely adore it. I think it's so beautiful. to be honest, I don't know what's holding me back from giving it a 10. I suppose I don't want to go crazy, but I think it is so beautiful. And I do honestly believe if it weren't for the coronavirus that this would have won, because I think this is a year where lots of songs that would have done really well in the televote, say Russia, Azerbaijan, would have bombed in the jury vote. And I think lots of jury favourites like Poland would have absolutely bombed in the televote. And I think this hits both. It's modern and contemporary, but it's also beautiful and appealing. And I think this would have snuck in and been the number one. So honestly, massive kudos to the Bulgarian team. I think you can take this as a win. You were first in the odds. And, you know, I'm really excited to see what they come back with next year. I think, you know, so glad to see Bulgaria back in the game and as feisty as ever. And great job. Absolutely love it.
Deppin.
You know, I mean, one thing we love about symphonics is that they really craft and produce, you know, some of the most infectious Eurovision sort of hits. You know, in the past sort of decade, they've really pushed through, not just on the Eurovision stage, but in the national finals, which we follow just as closely. What I love about Victoria George's participation is that, you know, she wasn't a blank canvas. She came with her own vision and she came with her own artistry and her own sound. You know, Tears Getting Sober is pretty much her own lyrical concept. And, you know, it was structured around these melodies and, you know, the drafts and the orchestration and stuff like that. So there's a believability factor here. There's authenticity, you know. Even though she doesn't have a body of work, she's clearly an artist with a very clear vision. I gave this an 8. And whilst generally it irks me when people rank songs higher than I would have, like if the WIWI jury averages like turn out to be higher, this is one I'm like, you know what, actually, if I had to re-rank it now, I may elevate it. I think this is excellent. And yeah, qualification is not even on, you know, it's not even open to debate. I mean, I think that this could have won. I knew that from my conversation with Borislav, as you've had multiple conversations with him, Bulgaria were on a really tight budget. And I think that that could have held it back from victory, but it would still finish and peak within the top 5. I'm pretty dead certain of it.
Suzanne.
So, you know how hard it is for me to make decisions on this stuff, right? And I think that part of going through the process of Eurovision is being able to, for us, being able to watch the rehearsals, being able to see the artists in action, being able to get to know them a little bit, seeing them interact, and all of that in the end plays a role in that final thought, right? And so it's so hard at this point to make those calls. So this is not one of my top 3, but it is one of my top 5. I think this year I was just looking for something a little bit happier. So I am going to give Tears Getting Sober a 9.
Oh, that's excellent. I thought you were setting us up for like a 2 or something.
No, it's one of my top 5.
But it's not in your top 3. So...
No, believe it or not, my current top 3, and I've got to go back through them again, the other ones are on here.
All right. In any case, my score, if I could do it again, would be much higher. I think this is a song that really becomes an earworm with each listen. I actually like it more now, many weeks later, than I did when I first heard it, and that's very rare, because usually it goes in the other direction. You get sick of songs. And I think that this would have grown from semi-final to recap in the semi-final to final to recap in the final. Long story short, my score was an 8.5. Yeah, I think this could have been a contender to win. I really do. I think that this is so classy, so artistic, yet also very pop. It really straddles the line between jury bait and televote winner. It ticks so many boxes. In any case, we are not the only Wiwibloggers. There are dozens of us all over this good earth, and they have also cast their scores out of 10. And when we add them up and divide by 300, we get 7.75. which is a huge score when you consider we have so many different people with different taste all over the place. Anything above a 7 is hard. That's really impressive.
I think that's a really, really good score, and I bet Sinan Sadula's score was dropped.
This did in fact receive perfect 10s. You can see who gave those perfect 10s on the Wiwibloggs website. In any case, are your tears getting sober, or are they still drunk? Do you feel empowered by her message of mental health awareness? Let us know here on Wiwibloggs.
Don't forget to give us a like down below.
Subscribe to YouTube. Watch us on WIWI TV, and don't forget to read Wiwibloggs.com. I'm going to start doing that.
We have a podcast on Spotify, so make sure you check that out. And we are also on multiple social media platforms: Twitter, IGTV, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you check those out.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
I didn't fart. But